I'm going to critique this property because I don't want you to make mistakes when you design, build, or buy a property yourself. I'm the How to Buy a Mansion guy. My name is Arvin Haddad. Let's watch this video together.
Hi Luxury Home Show. My name is Rebecca. Welcome to 𝗕𝗓𝗕𝗓 here in sunny Marbella.
You're like, who the hell is Rebecca? We want 𝗕𝗓𝗕. Really? You want 𝗕𝗓𝗕? Sure, I'll give you 𝗕𝗓𝗕 at the end of the video. There are parts of this house that Rebecca covers, 𝗕𝗓𝗕 doesn't. There are parts that 𝗕𝗓𝗕 covers, Rebecca doesn't. So today, you're going to get Rebecca and 𝗕𝗓𝗕.
Something very special is over here. And no, I'm not just saying that because I'm Irish. It really does feel like you're having a cinematic experience. This leads into where the paddle court is. So we have a boat behind us, and this is an extension of the house. So hi, my name is Rebecca. I live here with my partner, and I also manage all the rentals for the house. So if I just show you around the outside of the property first, if you follow me down here, the entrance gates are just down the bottom of the hill.
Can you spot what they've done amazing here? I sometimes pause the frame and ask my subscribers to kind of exercise so they will get better. I'll give you guys 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. A lot of things. Okay, first of all, it was a tree-lined private driveway. You always want that. You want that separation from the street. The other thing is that it's a promontory. But what's really apparent in this frame is that this is not just like a wall. It looks like a city gate. But what's even more impressive is that whole villa is branded La Gratitude, okay, or Villa Gratitude, right? And you're thinking, Arvin, that's only for really, really expensive homes. That's not true. I personally sold a $2.2 or $2.3 million home called Kenmore Arms that I even featured on CNBC Open Door with Sarah Gore like 6 years ago. You don't have to be super expensive to have a brand. What you do need to have is have a brand, have an identity. If you have an identity, if the exterior matches the interior and the whole thing is cohesive and tells a story, right? You can brand your property. I don't care how inexpensive it is.
If you follow me around this roundabout here, you'll also notice we have a very cool and very cute little blue moke with the logo of the house on it. So I actually use this every single day. I usually put the dogs in the back of the car. We go down to the beach, we do walks. We're actually going down to a boat trip later if you want to join. But if you are a guest staying in the house, this is always here. You always have access.
Okay, so they're targeting this to Airbnb and, luxury rentals. Mind you, they were trying to sell this property for 40 million euros when 𝗕𝗓𝗕 tried to promote it and hype it up, right? So let's find out why it hasn't sold and why they have pivoted to a rental.
Welcome to the main house. This is the entrance foyer. We've got this gorgeous wooden circle table at the entrance.
What a foyer. Look at this. Now, one of the things I want you guys to pay attention, how neutral, timeless the material has been used in this property. If you want to have a rental or any property that would keep its value with time, this house is a very, very good example. The type of finishes you want, the type of cohesive look you want to create, color palettes, material, textures. Don't copy this. This goes with this architectural style. It's about the execution, okay? The execution of our architectural style and interior finishes that makes this house, age very, very slowly. Pay attention. I'll point back to it later in the video.
So just moving on here, I just want to point out this absolutely gorgeous statement art piece. So it's by 𝗕𝗓𝗕𝗓.
I don't care about the art piece. What I care about the finishes here. Do you see when I say it's timeless? Why is it that it's timeless? The reason that it's timeless is that it has an eclectic touch. Wallpaper, texture, paneled, fabric walls, and the very monotone colors that they've used, and they're giving you that pop with the wallpaper, right, when you open up the bathrooms. And the good thing about eclectic design, it doesn't age, right? Eclectic is always like so opinionated that it's always an opinion. But the problem is executing eclectic design is not easy, right? You got to be eclectically elegant, eclectically nice, and to tell a story. Now let's see if they've done that with the rest of the house.
Well, if you guys want to follow me in here, if it's okay, I'm going to take off my shoes so they're not clipping all the way through the tour. But this is the living room here. So as you can see, it's quite expansive. In total, it's 400 square meters.
Can you spot the flaw? I give you guys 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. You don't enter to this room center. And that's a problem because you would get the ocean view if you entered center. But from this angle, you have to go through the room and then turn 90 degrees to see the ocean view from an angle. And that's just not ideal. Now, there are more flaws in this room. And it's actually one of the reasons why this property did not sell for $40 million. See if you can spot them.
This is the dining area here. We've got this beautiful marble dining table and chairs around. So moving on next here, we've got our sunken living area. Something very special is over here. This is my favorite room in the house. And no, I'm not just saying that because I am Irish, but this is the bar. This is such a cool spot. We can actually close off. There's curtains in between here.
So look at this bar. Again, fantastic. I like this like old Hollywood eclectic vibe they're going for. But this is where the entrance to the house should have been. This was technically the foyer, right? You enter from the center, you see the view, and you had to have some sort of divide between these spaces, right? To at least give it enough energy to hold the energy and for people to actually utilize it, not get lost in this space.
And we have some really cool features as well, that this goes into like a disco strobe light when everything's obviously blacked out. And there is actually a smoke machine as well. So very, very cool. For events, this is obviously brilliant as well because you have the bar already here. You can get barman in. You're pretty much set up for the evening with this.
Do you know why she keeps saying events, events, events? It's because you're watching a commercial, I'm critiquing a commercial, and she's calling out her target customer. Yeah, this is a paid commercial. And she has found out that events, people who actually throw events, companies that throw events, pay her the most. And I bet you she didn't know that when they designed this house. Because I think they've designed this house towards someone who would actually come and, you know, buy the property, live in it for 1 month for vacation and rent it. But then when they couldn't sell it, they had to get into the business of renting this property. And through experience, they realized the best use, the people who pay them the most amount of money, is events.
We've got one more section down here. This is quite cozy down here, but this is just another section kind of cornered off where people can hang out, spend time together.
Okay, this is when your great room has a living room. It's humongous, right? And what's really, really interesting is that the ceiling heights are actually not that bad. I would say probably 12 feet at its highest point, but it looks like it has low ceiling because how wide it is, right? It's just the ratio. Remember, width, length, and height, they all play with each other. And if you don't partition it and you separate it, right, it really becomes obvious.
So I'll just walk you quickly to the door. It's a beautiful day here in Marbella. I can't believe it is January, but the weather is always so stunning here. So this is the gardens. It's absolutely breathtaking. We've got a large pool, obviously, at the front here. This was modeled off 𝗕𝗂 courtesan, and I think they just did a fantastic job. You can see here out on the terrace, there's different areas where people can hang out.
Okay, so the backyard is fantastic. It's promontory, the views are protected. It really stands out. It seems to have pretty good privacy. I haven't seen all angles, but you get a great combination of lawn, grass, and a huge swimming pool. The steps really don't bother me. I don't think they're significant enough to hurt somebody falling down or any of that stuff. But what's really clear to me is that if you attach a GPS device to all the guests who stayed here for a week, okay, you would never see these doors ever like opening and closing. You would see everyone is entering the property and the backyard from the sides, because I genuinely don't think this great room would even get used that often when it's a vacation rental. I think most people will gravitate to the other rooms and hang out there. And that's really, really unfortunate. And I think really the best case use for this property is an event. And she keeps calling events, events, events. She knows it.
So I'm going to show you the bedrooms now. So there's 8 in total in the main house. So there's 4 just behind you, which I'll show you in a second. And then there's 4 on the other side. So the idea was here, Bjarne, my other half, he's a property developer. And this house was always meant to be sold. But now we've decided that's not our priority and we're focusing on exclusive rentals. So these are some of the rooms that you can stay in if you do rent the property. So this is probably one of my favorite rooms. As you enter here, you can see the wardrobes on either side.
Okay, this is really bad. To have a hallway that also functions as your walk-in closet is just not up to par. This is a place where people come enter and exit, and it just would look messy. It's just not where you want to be changing. It's okay for a small condo in a building in Europe, right? But not okay for 40 million villa with a lot of land and a lot of square footage in Marbella.
And then this opens up into this gorgeous, bright bedroom. You can see here we've got the decorated shelving here.
Okay, I really like the wood paneling. Okay, I just love the combination of material, the textures, material, how balanced it is. I do not think these finishes will age badly. I think they will look the same in 10 years from now. It's a very smart choice of material. Wood paneling is key to keep this, Mediterranean, probably Andalusian style property fresh and warm. And we saw the wood paneling above fireplaces everywhere else in the house. And the texture of that really thick knot carpet is also very vacation. And it just works. They've done a really, really good job.
Next, I just want to show you the view here. So if you see 𝗕𝗓𝗕𝗏 is just outside there. And also these doors open up. So if you're a guest staying here, you can open up in the morning with your cup of tea or your cup of coffee.
That's exactly where you will go to the backyard. I really do believe so. I think the most convenient way to get to the swimming pool is the route people would take on their vacation. They're not going to say, let me go through that huge middle great room to enter the backyard from there. Right? They're never going to be there.
I'll show you the bathroom, which is also beautiful. You've got your double vanity here. You've got natural stone. Now, obviously, we do have blinds. You can bring it down for privacy. But, if you're okay with it, you can actually just take in all the scenery.
Yeah, your security guard and the person who's monitoring those cameras would really, really have a great day. You just made their day.
So just to go into my second favorite bedroom here, I think it's absolutely gorgeous, super feminine in here. I adore the wallpaper in this room. I think it's gorgeous.
I don't. I think it's a little too much. They ran out of options because they have so many rooms. Probably each room has its own wallpaper. But again, it's okay to, be very opinionated with wallpaper. You can easily change it. The fact that the color palette is so warm, but also eclectic, it's telling its own story. It's not trying to be trendy. That's the thing about eclectic, the way it works, is that it tries to set the mood itself.
Hampton style wardrobes and sisal flooring.
So you don't even have walk-in closet for this one. Okay, so your two favorite bedrooms didn't have walk-in closets on a $38 million villa. Not good.
And you have a similar style bathroom with the natural stone.
So again, when you look at certain areas, the material they've used is not necessarily expensive, but the way they've tied it, the fabric they use for the bed or the chairs they had, the color palettes, you don't feel like they're out of place. And that's the key. That's how you can save money. And that's why when I'm pairing up my clients with architects or interior designer, I try to pair them right off the bat, both of them very, very early on in the project. So the architect is talking to the interior designer. They're talking to, bring the whole cohesive look of the room, doesn't matter which room, great room, bedroom, kitchen, all together. So when the finished product is done, everything is talking to each other.
So to move on to the next bedroom here, each as nice as the last. But again, we've got some paneling here. We've got fabric on the wall, which I think is just really nice touch. This room is quite big as well. So you've got your hidden TV, your big bed, but you also have this kind of lounging sofa area here.
Okay, another well-executed bedroom, right? As far as the design go, but doesn't have a walk-in closet. The aesthetics, choices, finishes for an eclectic house that is not so much drawing serious opinions, but it's still eclectic, right? Kind of a balanced eclectic. It's excellent.
So to move on from those bedrooms here and into the next section of the house, we've got gorgeous sisal flooring here, which I think just looks absolutely beautiful in all the bedrooms. It's really nice on your feet as well.
Look, this is like a foyer for this part of the house. Do you see how this kind of looks like this is the area where like the elevators land from and the hotel rooms are coming out? This house really feels like a small boutique hotel with a ginormous lobby. I just don't see people who are staying in this part of the house ever going to the great room.
This ties back out onto the terrace where you can see again the light the view. It's just absolutely gorgeous from every single angle. You've also got your hot tub jacuzzi as well if you want to take a dip. The pool is actually quite cold this time of year, so you can jump into that instead. Here is
the room that you would actually spend the most amount of time in if you rent it for 70 to 100,000 euros a week. This is the place you're going to end up hanging out because it's the most convenient. When you're on your vacation, you don't go out of your way walking, half a soccer field to the central location to hang out there and feel lonely. You want here, somewhere with really low ceilings that kind of feels like your own house. It's a shame, right? Great for the event, shame for a vacation rental.
the living room that actually gets used as a living room more so to watch TV and kind of just really chill.
Isn't it great? She doesn't BS us. I like that. She's pretty straight up. Maybe actual, people who own the house should give the tours, right? They do a better job.
And also the beautiful views outside as well. You can just hang out here during the day, you can come watch a movie in the evening.
Okay, let's rate the view. This is a tough one. Okay, what makes this view really great is really not the ocean, right? The ocean is it's the finishing touch, but it's the swimming pool, the depth of the yard, the trees, and then, I would give 30-40% of the view is the ocean view. It's really what you see on your way to the ocean view that really elevates this view. I give this view at 7.75, an 8, an 8. It's an 8. No, I like this view. It's an 8.
So now we're going to go downstairs to what's easily, well, in my opinion anyway, the coolest part of the house. We've got some amazing amenities downstairs that definitely set us apart from other properties in Marbella. So come on with me and I'll show you. When you come down here, you can go either left or your right.
Even their lobbies feel like a hotel, doesn't it? It really feels like a hotel.
So you have your theater on the right-hand side, or you have your indoor pool and spa. So we're going to start this way and we're going to go all the way around. Come on in. So this is your indoor pool spa. This is actually a heated indoor pool. So as I said, if it's a little bit too cold outside, you can always come in. This is also salt water.
Okay. Fantastic to have an indoor pool in Marbella. It's just, why not? It's great. The ceiling heights are very concerning. Okay. And I'm pretty sure the ceiling heights are going to be consistent in the basement. And that's just not good. I think one of the biggest flaws when people come to designing basement is going really low on ceiling heights, right? For some reason, they think that's the standard. That's where we should cheap it out or neglect it. Complete the opposite. Because it's underground, you have to go higher.
For anyone who's brave enough, there is a cold plunge. It's something I definitely avoid, but some people are obsessed. I don't know. We've got a steam sauna room here that I definitely indulge in. It's very, very cool. And then when you're all done, you have the waterfall shower here as well that you can just kind of clean up.
Okay, so I saw a few things like chips and stuff by the cold plunge. In the shower area, you could see there was some redone, they kind of covered the walls. It looks like they had some leaks and water issues. So that's of concern. I think it really misses a dry sauna. You definitely have to have a dry sauna, steam sauna. It's a must. You got to have both of them. I love the fact that they have a cold plunge. I try to use it at least 3-4 times a week. It's fantastic for you.
I always said if I lived in a house with a gym, I'd use it every day. And the reality is I don't at all. But for any big gym goers, if they are staying in the house, this is a really cool feature as well. It's got everything that you need, all of the basics.
A very good gym, right? It's separated on the basement, so if you drop weights and stuff, it would not really, hurt people who are sleeping around that area. It does have wood floors. I mean, it could be special wood floors that are designed for a gym or artificial engineered wood that is designed for a gym. But overall, a great space. I like the fact that it opens up to the outdoor area and is very close to the spa, so you can go take a shower, maybe do laps. You get all your, wellness, exercise done together. Great.
So if you kill yourself in the gym and, you need to relax or take a moment for yourself, we do have a massage room. Whether it's a physio or you want to get a facial, this is such a luxury to have in the house. There's a toilet in here. This is a emergency staircase, so I won't bore you with that. So following on in here, this is the games room.
What kind of a game room is this? Why does it look Japanese? This is the weirdest game room I've ever seen in my life. It just looks like one of those Japanese experiences. If you go to Japan, Osaka or Tokyo, and you go to the, suburbs and you go to a Japanese house, it's just so weird. I don't get game vibes whatsoever.
If anyone's into darts, there's also that, and the arcade game here as well. So to feed into, this is definitely my favorite part of the house.
I feel like she's said that like 5 times.
This is like a little sweet bar. You have all your kind of chocolates and jellies.
I think they really dropped the ball in this room. This is your entrance to your movie theater. It just looks like the leftover material from every other room. It's probably my least favorite room in the entire house.
And just kind of a setup where people can hang out, get some drinks, hang out before they go into the cinema room. I think this room is just a wow. As I said earlier, when I was giving the tour, there's some amenities in this house that really sets us apart from other properties that you can rent. And I definitely think that this room would be one of them.
I agree. From the exterior, when you're looking at this, it looks like a 1-story villa with like an extension that is like where the primary bedroom is. And you would not expect to have such a massive basement, especially a movie theater. Now, the steps are really steep. That's a really big drop coming down. But again, it has an identity, right? It's pretty aggressive to go how heavy they've gone on the green, but I think they've worked it out. They've been really good with matching colors, I have to say. Like the purple and the green, it works. It works and only works for like a movie theater, right? They've used the right material, right palettes at the right location. Their interior designer, people who chose the fabrics, colors, and everything, did a very good job without really going over the board expensive, right? Like luxury, but eclectic luxury. They probably saved them actually a lot of money.
So coming down this hallway here, this room is super cool. It's for boys and girls, although we do label it as the gentleman's room. So here you have your poker table. I think that's roulette. I'm not even sure. That's so bad. But you've got all your features here to be playing cards and have a very cool night. You've got your different whiskies over on the wall there. We do have a ventilation system as well, so if you want to have a cigar night or smoke down here, you can actually do that. We haven't allowed anyone do it yet, but it is possible. Then you have the antique mirror walls here. I think that's a really cool feature.
I think it's a horrible feature. I really dislike this. I think they really dropped the ball. I think there was a cavity underground. They're like, let's give it utility. We'll have this and this and this. In the marketing material, we will emphasize these and it'll be a selling point to have a gentleman's room. There's nothing gentleman. This is as cheesy as it gets. And the ceiling heights are absolutely suffocating. I mean, I think it's a cop-out. It's a total cop-out. And it was an afterthought at best.
So if I bring you through here, you can probably hear the noise already, but there is a bowling alley. Okay, I'll give this a go, but I'm really bad, so don't judge me. No!
Okay, again, very eclectic, very retro for a bowling alley. It's really interesting how committed they have been to staying consistent with their design. So often I see on these mega mansions I consult on that they just lose the plot halfway through. They forget what they were working on. They get bored of their own design and they let it go and continue with something else, right? But they've stayed committed, and for that reason, they get the right to brand their property with a name. And when someone goes through their property, they will have that experience. Okay, this property had a brand, had a feeling that was consistent throughout the property. And it doesn't have to be a mega mansion. You could do this on a $1 million home or a $2 million home, as long as you execute that consistency throughout the property.
So I'm going to continue the tour outside. I've got some helpers with me. We have 4 dogs. This is Piper and Lola, who will follow closely behind now in a minute. But as I showed you earlier, we've got this very long terrace from there to there, and it has multiple different spots where people can gather. One thing to note, which is fantastic, is when Bjarne bought the plot, he had to do some research about the area, and he quickly realized that in front of us here, you'll notice it goes all the way down to the sea, so the views are spectacular, but that is actually what's called a green zone. So no one's ever going to be able to build up in front of the house and be able to block that view, which is amazing. And the security in just knowing that it'll be untouched.
Okay, let's talk about the landscaping and the hardscaping. I think it's fantastic. I think they've done, again, something that would not age. Like when you have a core of an architectural Andalusian style, right, you want to stay consistent with that. Like the brickwork around the swimming pool would always match this property. If you would have picked a marble, that marble would have gone out of style, right? And in 6-7 years, your property would have aged. They've been so aware of what they have and how to decor it, how to use hardscaping, landscaping in a really, really beautiful way that would match the architectural style of the property. I think if I was going to critique the landscaping is lack of olive trees in the backyard. I thought they did a really, really good job in the front. You should keep that consistent with, olive groves in south of Spain. I think that would have been a nice touch, but we didn't see that.
Zeus is 75 kg Spanish Mastiff. He's absolutely ginormous.
Okay, we have a little bit of a privacy issue here. At least it's obvious that there's a hotel, 5-6 story hotel very close by to this property. Now, I don't see huge concern for the backyard because most of the areas where you'll be sitting is, covered with this tree and the overhang from the house itself, but the lawn in the back is exposed.
So just leaving this part of the garden, obviously you've got an absolutely stunning view up to 𝗕𝗓, but I'll bring you through to the other side of the gardens here where we can see the paddle court. Coming down these steps here, this leads into where the paddle court is. So if you're sporty guests, or even maybe you wanted to have a paddle retreat, you could also book the villa for that. So you can see you have the paddle courts here. Now I have to address immediately, I did attempt a vegetable garden that as you can see hasn't been so successful. So our amazing gardener Eugenio has obviously stepped in and he started replanting. So we hope for the summer that this will be absolutely magnificent.
Okay, it's great that this property has a vegetable garden, but it's how far away it is from the kitchen is not ideal. But let's talk about vegetable gardens in general. I don't think they get the credit they deserve for how much they contribute to the actual sale, because it's a hugely emotional and attractive proposition when a buyer sees a vegetable garden. It implies that you're going to be healthy. Now, realistically, they would probably use the vegetable garden multiple times and most likely a lot of it's going to die. But if I'm trying to help you to get the maximized amount of money for your property when you try to sell it, a vegetable garden does magic. It's kind of like the wow factor. It's a feeling, right? It's a promise that every time you open the door, you're going to see this wow factor. You're going to like it. It makes you feel good.
So we have a little bit of a stage, I don't know if you could call it. So if people are gathered around, maybe you're having a bit of a tournament.
Okay, you have more of a stage because you have a stage over here, but you have all these hotel rooms looking in. This is actually a pretty good place to put your paddle court, right? It's exactly where you would want it, where you wouldn't mind not being so private. But the fact that it has a paddle court and how popular paddle or tennis is in Europe is fantastic. For an historic Andalusian architectural property, it has these bells and whistles that you would only see on this modern mega mansions that they build nowadays. So if you like this architectural style like I do, I tend to gravitate towards older architectural styles. I'm not saying right or wrong. I like that timeless old elegance about them. Then this is your house. Right, this is what you want, right? Just
for context, we're going to show you the other side of the living room now, which are these bedrooms here on the left hand side. So we're going to go back inside and we'll take it from there. So leading on from the living room again, the other side brings us into the kitchen. So we actually have two kitchens here. This is the main kitchen for guests to enjoy if they want to cook themselves.
Okay, another timeless kitchen. But did you just notice how far the other wing is to this kitchen? It's like you like really rack up your steps on your watch. It's so disconnected. Again, it doesn't feel like a home. It really, really doesn't feel like a home. Now, let's talk about the kitchen because I really, again, think the material, the finishes, everything they've used in this kitchen would not age in 10 years. That is amazing. And to be very frank, you guys ask like, Arvin, what type of property you love and you adore and you would do for yourself? If I'm building something for myself to use, I would like something like this, right? I wouldn't want to make strong statements. I would like something that would hold its value. I would like something that I would not get tired of. And I like this kind of a light, eclectic fabrics, textures. Look, I'm not a huge fan of extravagant marbles and stuff like that. So this really sets well with me.
You'll notice also outside here, I'm just going to quickly show it to you. We have one more area for outdoor dining and we have kind of a barbecue section here.
Okay, al fresco, love it. Really beautiful for a small family, not up to caliber of the house, not for the size of the house, right? If you're having, a huge party staying at this house to fill up the 9 bedrooms plus the guest house, then this is not enough outdoor seating arrangement for everyone and their kids and everyone else.
It's just a very inviting spot to go to. So leading from the kitchen, we're going to go down here, and on the right hand side we have this wine cellar here where we store everything. So I did mention that there was 2 kitchens, so especially if you're renting this house, you're having an event, or even if you just want to have a private chef in, we do have a chef's kitchen here in the back.
Okay, good positioning. You have the chef's kitchen in the back of the show kitchen, right? So even if the food is being served in the kitchen, it doesn't have to be cooked in the kitchen. But more importantly, you're putting the chef's kitchen at probably the worst area in the house, which you don't care so much about, on the side that you have, the paddle court and also the hotel, right? Great place to put it, not to use or waste prime square footage of the house.
The next section here is the mud room. Now, it's usually not this clean, would you believe? Bjarne is massively into paddle, so the guys will always come over here and we store all the paddle rackets.
Okay, this is a huge mud room. Very generous mud room. And again, I think it actually works because this is the area also to your chef's kitchen. So there's going to be a lot of, people coming in and out, and probably where the laundry room is as well. I don't mind having a huge foyer over here. This is, again, an area of the house that is the least desired. Right? You don't really want to have so many bedrooms over here or important bedrooms on this side because of the paddle court and the hotel, right? You don't really get any views.
This also leads down here to the other bedrooms in the house. Now, as I mentioned before, Bjarne is a property developer, and this house was originally built to be sold. And obviously now we've pivoted and we're focusing on exclusive rentals. But the idea when the renovation started was this was the staff quarters down here.
Did you hear what she just said? I bet you their target buyer were the Gulf countries. They travel with a lot of staff, a lot of kids. One important element, if I was consulting with them, is that the Gulf countries and clients I've talked to, they don't gravitate at the moment towards this type of Andalusian style. They want a lot more volume. You got to go to Dubai. You got to go to Saudi. You got to go see what they're buying locally and what their expectations are, okay, before you start designing it. Or you got to know someone who knows what their taste and palette is and what they're looking before you start designing for them.
And just before I forget, we actually have a laundry room as well here. So I'll just quickly give you a show. Again, it's usually not this clean, but we tidied it just for you guys.
Okay, this is a fantastic laundry room. It's both appropriately sized and appropriately positioned. I really like the way they use this side of the property to get a bunch of stuff done, right? They got a great mudroom. They got the chef's kitchen out of the way, and they got the staff rooms. Now, unfortunately, the person who's going to get that room is not going to be really happy on a vacation rental, right? But overall, for the vision that they had, the ideal buyer they had, I think they executed pretty well over here.
But as I was saying, this was designed to be separate for a staff area. So that's why you'll see we have cupboards here for storage. There's a sink, kind of a mini kitchen vibe down here, dining table.
Okay, super low ceiling. You see why this is not fun for multiple families to rent it at the same time? Because one family or two family are going to get really the short end of stick over here. There's going to be a fight over the bedrooms. That's why I know she's focusing on events, because at the end of the day, this house will do amazingly for events. And I think it will actually generate a lot more revenue if they had a dedicated person marketing this property to brands, right? This is free advice, by the way, I'm giving them. This is that you should have someone making calls on the top brands in the world that have boutiques and retail locations in Marbella. Target them. You'll make a ton of money from this property.
So we've got 4 bedrooms in total, but before I show you that, I think it's very important you see this. So this is what it looked like when Bjarne bought the plot.
See, this is where I like to get involved in projects when it's in this shape, like when they've gutted the place and they've just hired the architect. That's where I add value. I'm consulting on 2 big projects in Marbella. One is the $50 million mega mansion, which I've added at least $5 million of value, according to the client himself. And as soon as he found out I'm stopping my consulting, he bought 5 packages. And then another client. So this, ideally at this time, when I get involved before the plans are submitted and maybe the first draft of an architect has been drafted, we can start critiquing that layout, and then work our way to finishes, implementation, interior design, furnishing, and everything, to make sure you guys have a really successful project. If you're watching this video after March, the one-on-one consulting is all gone. It will never be available again. But I will have something in its place that I can help more people simultaneously, a little bit more group setup, I guess. But it just would never have it in this setup because I have no time. I'm still selling houses, a lot, really big deals actually. And I also have to make videos, and I have a family and everything I have to attend to. So I really have to kind of learn how to scale the consulting business in a way that both makes sense for me and I can still deliver as much value as I can to you guys, because I love the consulting. It's taking way too much of my time. And I think I don't want my videos to be sacrificed, the quality of the videos, and which I even enjoy more making, right?
Come on into the bedroom here. So this is the paddle court we were just on. I actually think this view is still really good.
No, it's not. It's the worst bedroom ever. That's not even like $200 a night, okay?
And even if this was designed to be a staff quarters per se, like the bathrooms are still impeccably finished.
I wouldn't call this impeccably. It's beautifully curated, okay? But it's not impeccably finished whatsoever.
So it's just kind of the long corridor here. And we've got another ensuite here on the left-hand side.
This is a closet. This is not even a bedroom.
Very similar style as well. Followed by another bedroom here.
Oh man. Okay, it's horrible. It's really, really small. It really would be unfair if another family actually pays and stays in this room. Okay, at this point, I'm going to do a little bit of magic. I'm going to turn Rebecca into Enice. You wouldn't be happy without a video of mine with Enice being in it. And Enice covered the part of the house that Rebecca didn't, the guest house and the primary bedroom. Let's jump to Enice's video.
Right around the corner, we have a detached 675 square meter, 5-bedroom guest house. Let's go have a quick look.
Can you spot the flaw? I'll give you guys 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Multiple flaws here, multiple issues or concerns. One, what is that empty lot next door? Does it have permits? Is it going to, as soon as you buy it, somebody's going to build there or not? Number 2, the main garage of the house is under the guest house. And if these guys were consulting with me, when they're designing and kind of targeting this house towards the golf buyers, they roll deep with a lot of fancy cars. And you're telling me you only have a 4-car garage and it's not even attached to the main house? Not ideal. And then you have to go up a ton of stairs to get to the bedrooms of the guest house. Now you're like, Arvin, it's just the guest house. No, there are 5 of the bedrooms we're counting out of the 9 are here. This is a significant portion of the property.
It starts right here. Steel case door opens up to the landing. Even the guest house is so impressive. The bedrooms here, the scale. In fact, let's go have a look. We have this hallway going into 2 bedroom suites. Let's go check out the first one on the left. Look at this bedroom, so cozy. It looks like a chic hotel room in Saint-Tropez or like somewhere Mediterranean, you know?
Where did you think you were? This is the Mediterranean, buddy. The guest house, as far as interior design goes, is up to par with the main house. Now, I don't rate these finishes as ultra high-end, but they're very, very well curated together, okay? It does look good. And this is a very good balanced room with a nice color palette, which again, I don't think it's gonna age bad.
We have the second one start right here. Same finishes, built-in closets, and I mean, another gorgeous bathroom with a skylight, walk-in shower with glazed tiles, vanity with fabricated countertops, gorgeous bathroom, and around the corner we have the bedroom itself.
Another good sized bedroom. Again, well curated. Again, these bedrooms are really good size. But again, let's talk about the views. How many bedrooms have you seen in this property so far that have amazing views? 1? There were 4 on one side of the property that most of them didn't even get ocean view. And then you had 4 maids, guest staff quarters, bedrooms, which were extremely small. I mean, anyone who's paying for this villa should not stay there. It's just not fair. So then all the weight comes over to the primary, which we're going to see very soon, and all the 5 bedrooms over here. And these bedrooms, you're looking into the driveway and the hotel, which is blocking the ocean view.
In fact, we have the 3rd bedroom around the corner. I want to briefly show that to everyone so we cover everything on this floor. It starts here. This room is so spacious. They have 2 king-size beds there.
Okay, I'm convinced this house was designed and targeted towards the Gulf countries. Like, if you have 2 wives, one of the wife and the kids could be in this guest house. The first wife would be the primary residence, right? I don't see the reason. Honestly, why would you have 5 bedrooms in a guest house? You would really split the team. right? Like if you're going with a big group, it's going to be like group A, group main house, great group guest house. It's very niche product for a very, very specific buyer. And that's one of the things I do with consultants, like who is your target avatar? And if you want to go really, really narrow and niche, and it's a strategy, I know how to execute it, right? But you got to know, most of the Gulf countries, they're not attracted to this architectural style, these volumes. They require a lot more. You got to go see what they're living in. This is like tiny stuff for them.
And coming back here, we have this opening taking us to the living room, dining, and kitchen area. It's all open and connected. You have the living room area on your left.
This is definitely the second wife's house. This is just not up to par.
With its own private balcony, another pop-up TV, warm finishes, and right in the middle we have the dining area, chandelier application, steel cased windows facing the mountain views, gorgeous space, and come in here, you have a small kitchenette.
The second wife got so jacked. It's not even fair. Look, from what I understand, if you have multiple wives, you have to treat them equal. This is not equal, okay? This is nowhere close to being equal.
These great details that we've also been seeing throughout the property, they have it here.
This looks more like a laundry room. It's not even, there's nothing about this that looks like a kitchen, which makes me conclude the second wife has to do the laundry. I'm sorry. This whole wife business is not good. But look, it's a hypothesis, okay? It's just a hypothesis.
So far, we covered the lower level, main floor, and the backyard. What's left is the second floor of the main estate.
Wait a minute. There are 2 other bedrooms in the guest house. You said 5 bedrooms in the guest house. Were they so bad that you didn't want to show it to us? I can imagine he just showed us the 3 best ones. The other ones were probably looking into that retainer wall that we just saw from the balcony of the kitchen/laundry room, where the second wife would be like chain smoking cigarettes, overcoming the misery of her predicament. But okay, let's continue. Let's go to the primary bedroom.
All right, here we are on the second floor. We finally made it here. Same plaster details that we've been seeing throughout. They have it here. We have the water closet here. And this opening takes you to the primary bathroom.
I love this palette. Do you recognize the consistent flow of certain colors in the house? They've used the same color wood almost throughout the house. This is the same color they use on the fireplaces, right? And then they've had this different shades of green, but consistently green, and then beige and different color beiges. And like, it's such a beautiful flow. Like it's just a beautiful palette that is calming for a vacation home. It matches the architectural style of the property. And I love this overhang glass kind of box that probably was a balcony that they encompass it in. And you got the shades on top. Really like it. Just gives me vacation vibes like all day.
Now we have this hallway here. Even the door panels are nicely covered with these wallpaper cloth finishes. And we have this opening taking us to the primary bedroom closet. Everything is nicely paneled. We have the mirror cabinet on the other side.
Okay, this is on the smaller side. Really is. This should be just her closet. You need a his closet beside this, especially that you designated the whole second floor. Like, this is not enough.
Now, what's left is the primary bedroom itself. These pocket doors open up and we have the room.
Oh my God. You just like bought a little too much of that fabric? What happened? Is the first wife like a grandma? Like, this was enough for the foyer of the primary bedroom, the walk-in closet. You could have continued that, but this is too much. Way too bold and way too eclectic for an opinionating for a primary suite. This was not safe. This is, I think, the only place where they went a little too much, and I just don't think it landed.
We have this steel door opening the primary bedroom to the balcony. Views are just so great. Again, so peaceful, so tranquil up here. Weather is great. You have this balcony with a little table set up and your lounging chairs. I mean, this is the lifestyle. Mikey, can we come to the edge? Look at your backyard. Look how inviting it looks. It's gorgeous out here.
Okay, Great promontory, right? Great little piece of dirt. I love it. The views are really good. Again, I like the views more from a lower floor because the ocean view was never that strong. And I just like to see the depth of the yard, the swimming pool, and then the ocean. I think it looks better. This one, you have to look down. But let me sum up the house, give you a full summary of what I think about this property. I like the architectural style, and I like 95% of the overall design. Not necessarily all the finishes, but the execution of matching the exterior with the interior, making it timeless so your finishes will not age and show their age over a long period of time, and just not making that many mistakes. Now, as far as the structure itself goes, I think it's highly dysfunctional. 4 bedrooms that are the best bedrooms in the whole property. One of them is the only one that actually has an ocean view. All these, $40 million or $38 million, and you only get one ocean view bedroom. It's not ideal. Your competition would get at least 2-3 bedrooms with solid ocean views, okay? And then the disconnect between that primary 4 bedrooms and the kitchen, and then the whole separation of half of your team has to stay in the guest house, which is nowhere close to up to par to the main house, is just not ideal. The fact that the garage was not connected to the main house and didn't have enough garage for the target market is another big flaw, and a little bit of a privacy issue, even though I think I give the privacy probably an 8. I think it's overall very, very private. The things that I really like about this property is the fact that I think it will do fantastic as an event property. Now, if you like this house, you would like this one. It's also in Marbella. Very, very different. And this is another video from my second channel, which I think you guys would enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.